One of Pope Francis's next travel destinations is Papua New Guinea.
Pope Francis will visit Papua New Guinea from September 6 to 9.
I'm Daniel 8:25. And through his policy he shall cause craft to prosper in his head, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. Shalom, brothers, shalom, sisters. Bishop Nathaniel here. Breaking news, public service announcement. The Pope is coming. The Pope is coming. The Pope Francis is making an 11-day journey, the longest trip of his papacy date. He will be visiting Indonesia, Papua New Guinea, East Timor, and Singapore from September 2nd through the 13th. Now, I was just in Papua New Guinea, so all I can do is warn you, brothers and sisters in Papua New Guinea, regarding the Pope. Now, you may ask, what is the problem with the Pope? Well, let's go to 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. I'm going to read just verse 3 and 4. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day, talking about the second coming of Christ, that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first. The 12 tribes of Israel will have to fall and go into captivity. Now, you may or may not notice, but in 1441, Pope Nicholas V instituted the papal bull allowing the transatlantic slave trade. They enacted Spain and Portugal to go forth first and conquer and enslave our people that were in Africa and on through the Americas with Pope Alexander VI. You can look up his papal bull called Dum Diversus. That was the Dum Diversus. Okay, so let's read it again, verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day, referring to the second coming of Christ, shall not come, except there come a falling away first. The 12 tribes of Israel would have to fall and go into captivity. Now, what the Pope also did, remember, he enacted later on, after you had Spain and Portugal, you also had the Dutch, and you had the British, who went throughout Oceania, and they enslaved our people in Papua New Guinea. Australia followed suit as well. Okay, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. The word perdition means hell, the son of hell. Now, although I'm saying the Pope, it goes for all white people, first and foremost. All of them, they work cohesively. The Pope is the false prophet mentioned in the Bible. He is also that man of sin. Okay, is he by himself? No. America works closely with them. Okay, G7 works closely with the Pope. Verse 4, who opposes and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. Now, how does that relate to the Pope? When you look up the terminology, Vicar of Christ, let's look it up. Vicar of Christ, V-I-C-A-R, it means the replacement of Christ. It says the Pope, with reference to his claim to stand in the place of Jesus Christ and possesses his authority over the church. Why do Catholics call the Pope the Vicar of Christ? It says, again, the Pope stands in the place of Jesus himself as the Vicar of Christ on earth. Remember what verse 4 says, who opposes and exalts himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. Watch this. Let's go to Daniel. Daniel chapter 8, verse 23. Now, I could get more in detail in Thessalonians, but for today, I'm just going to briefly touch on certain things. Daniel 8:23. And in the latter time of their kingdom is talking about the white man's kingdom, from Rome all the way up to the United States of America. And in the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to the full, you see transgressions coming to the full now, a king of fierce countenance and understanding dark sentences shall stand up. Now, when you look at the Pope, he was just some time ago, he was at the World Economic Forum, and it reads, Pope Francis says peace calls for more than setting aside instruments of war. It demands addressing the injustices that are the root causes of conflict. Now, the Pope has been a root cause of all world conflicts, first and foremost, but he's not dealing with that. Now, in the article, it says on September 3rd, the Holy Father will first land in Jakarta, Indonesia, the world's most populous Muslim majority nation, to promote religious harmony and interfaith dialogue between Christians and Muslims in the country. Now, you may say religious harmony is a good thing, okay? What does interfaith mean? It means interconnecting. Interfaith, interconnecting faiths. That's very strange. Now, Pope Francis says peace calls for more than setting aside instruments of war. Let me read on Daniel 8:23. Now, when it says understanding dark sentences, it goes into the scriptures. And also remember this. The Pope speaks 7 languages: Spanish, English, Italian, Latin, French, Portuguese, and German. He speaks 7 languages. And when they speak in dark sentences. I'm going to give you an example. When the Pope talks about religious harmony, let's look it up. Religious harmony is the idea of different religions and their followers peacefully coexisting and developing together. That sounds good. Let's go down to the bottom. However, some have criticized religious harmony for imposing and legitimizing an ideology of control over society, especially marginalized groups. Marginalized groups like what groups? Black people, Latinos, okay, Pacific Islanders. I want y'all to understand these dark sentences. So back to Daniel 8, verse 23. And in the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to the full, a king of fierce countenance and understanding dark sentences shall stand up. Now, the Pope is one of many. The Pope is one of many. So verse 24, and his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power, because Satan gives him their power. And he shall destroy wonderfully and shall prosper and practice and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people. Remember I referenced 1441, the transatlantic slave trade instituted by Rome, the Pope, Pope Nicholas V. Verse 25, and through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart. Remember what we read in 2 Thessalonians 2, verse 4, who showeth himself that he is God, and by peace shall destroy many. The Pope's venture now is to set forth world peace. That's why I said to promote religious harmony and interfaith dialogue between Christians and Muslims. Now, the World Economic Forum, he addressed it. The World Economic Forum is made up of the world's elites, primarily European elite millionaires, billionaires, and trillionaires. Understand what's going on here, brothers and sisters. Understand. Remember, the popes changed the seventh-day Sabbath to Sunday. That's what they did. That's what they did. They also are the ones that instituted Caucasian Jesus. His birth was immaculate and born on December 25th, none of which is biblical. All I can do is warn you, brothers and sisters, stand firm. Now, back to verse 25, Daniel 8:25. And through his policy he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the Prince of Princes, that's Christ, but he shall be broken without hand. Now, many scholars say that this is Antiochus Epiphanes. Did Antiochus Epiphanes stand up against Christ and was broken? No. He just used words. This will let you know Christ is going to come destroy these people, these Edomite peoples that you call so-called white people or Caucasians. So when it says he, it's not just one individual, it's talking about a group of men, a race of man. Okay? So, brothers and sisters, all I can do is warn you. And with that, I say, shalom.